Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another day, another week, another fantastic Monday on the Damage Report. I see snow is hitting around the country. Oh, Roller Dragons in Connecticut. I'm originally from Connecticut. I miss a little snow. I'm going to be heading to the East Coast for Christmas, though, so probably going to be experiencing some in a little bit. Ravaging Wolverine asked if I know there's a pre-show today. I see where you're going with that. Hey, Absurd Dragon. Anyway, we're back. I took basically the entire weekend off of paying attention to the news, and turns out a lot actually happened, and I feel like I'm all caught up. It's a mess. We're going to figure it out together. Before we jump into the big news, and we do have breaking news on the whole Special Master thing, let's jump into our numbers. Gasoline prices continuing to fall, dropping about a cent since yesterday. We're down looks like 14 cents since last week. Now a nice little chunk under where we were at a year ago. California prices continuing to go down, which is good news for John. COVID numbers moving in the opposite direction. Above 65,000 cases right now. That's an issue. I did notice that the test positivity rate has not yet gone up above 12%. We've been at that for about a week now, but you see that all the other bad numbers are going up. The death numbers shooting up. Again, I don't know entirely how that could have happened that fast, but we're just about close to hitting 500 deaths again. I mean, that would represent a doubling from the lowest point that we had gotten to. So that's very concerning. I will say that this weekend I went to a Friendsmas, and then the TYT holiday party, and wore a mask. It's not fun. I don't like it. I don't want to do it, but I did it. Because very worried, not only about COVID. Look, it's COVID. It's a really bad flu season. And then there's a bunch of other stuff floating around too. So it's a dangerous time. We're going to see together, when we do the pre-port in like 2 more Mondays, what are these numbers going to be like? What do you predict the case count is going to be at that point? And again, that's the recorded case count. That is not the actual definitive amount of cases that are out there. Anyway, we're going to jump into the actual news. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. We're going to run through a couple of stories that are important, but that we weren't able to fit onto today's rundown. We've got Governor Ducey, who has been told to stop stacking containers at the border, but has been continuing to do it. He's putting barbed wire at the top. Look, to me, honestly, this does not seem like the best barrier. Also, I'm not sure what's actually inside of the containers, but the metal on the sides of those containers is not particularly thick. I don't think that would be that difficult to breach. And I don't know what kind of sensors they would have. Anyway, just like you see how in this photo they're sort of like riding the landscape, reminding me of like a really pathetic post-apocalyptic version of the Great Wall. That's where we're at. That's our Great Wall. It's not great. Make Great Wall great again. That's what I would say. Anyway, I saw this. I just want to briefly mention it before we move on to our major news. This Fox host says kids committed suicide because Twitter didn't amplify conservative COVID claims. Says that because they didn't allow these BS non-doctors to lie about COVID and get more people sick, then that made the lockdown go longer, which is not how it works. The lockdown was based on the amount of sickness. Increasing the amount of sickness would hardly end the lockdown faster. And the lockdowns were not based on conservative narratives on Twitter. But anyway, it says that kids committed suicide as a result of that. That's Jesse Waters. And I just wanted to briefly mention this because, look, it is true and worth noting that Jesse Waters did not care enough about the people who would die based on his lies about COVID throughout the pandemic to not tell those lies. He knew he was lying. He knew that people were dying because of those lies. And he chose the money and the notoriety or whatever. He chose that. We know that. We've reconciled ourselves to that a couple years ago now. But also, when he does segments like this and tries to say that, no, it was that they didn't hear our lies, that's why people died. Now, look, to some extent, that's, again, just trying to make himself out to be a victim and everything. But let's also be clear. That is revealing that, although he doesn't have the actual heart or empathy or compassion of a thinking person to not have told the lies in the first place, he does know what he did. and a couple years on, like for the rest of his life, all of them, are going to know that when they think back on the pandemic, that people died because of what they did. That when everything was the worst it's been, and we needed to come together more than we ever had before, they know what they did instead. And it doesn't change their behavior, but it does on some level bother them. They know the evil they did. They know how they came up short. They can console themselves with their nice big houses or whatever. Anyway, here's the big news, everyone. The Special Master is gone. Long live the Special Master. There's no Special Master. I'll actually show you the order that was put out. This is by Judge Eileen Cannon. Again, Trump-appointed judge. Ordered and adjudged as follows. This case is dismissed for lack of jurisdiction. Any scheduled hearings are canceled. Any pending motions are denied as moot. And all denied as moot is my bar trivia name. And all deadlines are terminated. The clerk of court shall close this case. Done and ordered. It's done. That was from Eileen Cannon. Now, at the end of the time, at the end of the matter, it's not super up to her. She was effectively ordered by a higher court to do this. But it's done. So, what does this mean? Well, it doesn't mean that they didn't sort of get what they wanted. After all, like if you were to go back to the very beginning of us talking about the Special Master and all of this, did we ever say that this would save Trump, what Eileen Cannon was doing? I don't think so. I could be wrong. That doesn't mean that I don't think he'll be saved, but not that this is what would save him. Hey, Yvette, how's it going? Welcome to your own membership. Glad to have you here. The point of this could have been, maybe, the off chance that it saved him. But, as Grumpy Cat says, it was meant to waste time, and it did that. It wasted 4 months. I know it's crazy to think that that is how much time has actually passed since we hit that. We've been a little bit longer on the actual case, of course. 4 months, which, by the way, puts us, past a midterm election. It puts us past even the runoff. It puts us to when the Republicans are about to take over in the House and mess with things there. She hasn't yet been in any trouble as a result of this. She wasted 4 months, wasted countless millions of dollars. But I guess we're good? No. This is not the end of this. Now, this isn't the end of the actual investigation, although we'll see if that ever bears any fruit. But this shouldn't be the end of things for Eileen Cannon either. The idea that she would be able to go back to judging cases is insanity. Anyway, what you've got right now is Jessica Burbank joining J.R. Jackson on the watch list, and Francesca Fiorentini will be joining me on the Damage Report. We've got a lot of fun. We've got a live guest who's going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about Elon Musk being booed. We've got a Monday Menace. So, cool new set. Look at that. And so lots of fun to check out on the Damage Report in just a little bit. So I hope to see you there. Hit the like button on the way out if you haven't already, and I will see you soon.